Welcome to the Build Relevance Podcast. I'm Bob Schnyder, and after 25 years in manufacturing, I've seen firsthand how much business has evolved. This podcast is dedicated to exploring new ideas and fresh perspectives on growth and scalability, helping you rethink traditional operations and future-proof your business. Join us to learn more about industry disruptors and scale up your knowledge. Like and subscribe for updates. Today, I'm joined by Tyler Beckett, co-founder of Newton Industrial Solutions. Tyler, it's great to have you on the podcast.
Hey, thanks so much. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
Great. Well, today's focus is all about optimizing manufacturing, bridging the knowledge gap, and just really get some great insight. Tyler, when we talked before, great insights. I'm really excited to share this and have the audience understand what you're doing. So, but to start, can you, for those not familiar with your work, could you please give us an overview of Newton Industrial Solutions?
Sure. Thanks for the introduction, Bob. Um, so Newton Industrial Solutions, we've been in business for this March will be 2 years. We're based out of Simpsonville, South Carolina. Um, Most of the work we do so far is in the Carolinas and Georgia and North Carolina. We do travel elsewhere, but the bulk of our work is local to the southern areas. So we provide condition-based monitoring, training, and on-site services to facilities and plants, namely around lubrication and steam. Um, so some of our customers are power plants, steel mills, chemical factories. We even have some facilities like hospitals, some plastic factories, just general manufacturing. If you have rotating equipment inside your plant, we can absolutely help you and provide you value. So,
Great.
as far
And
as vision for what we hope to do, we really hope to expand our footprint and be able to help many plants get ahead of their failures and be able to have knowledge out into the future so they can make informed decisions.
Great. And so, what are the core problems you aim to solve for your clients in the manufacturing sector?
So we are, like I said about the informed knowledge, um, a lot of plants may not have the bandwidth or the knowledge on how to investigate their rotating machinery and their fixed equipment, like their steam traps and things like that, so that they can understand where are my potential losses in the future. We want to get away from run to failure maintenance, and we help them through providing them actionable insights into their asset health.
Oh, wow, that's great. And then specifically, how does Newton Industrial Solutions utilize training and lubrication for optimization in the manufacturing process?
So we can't do everything for a plant themselves. There comes a point when we kind of hand off some of the work that we do to them, like performing the lubrication PMs, doing the greasing, changing the oil, taking the oil samples, things like that. And so the training we provide is the ICML based training. We also do see the STLE, but the bulk of the training we provide is through ICML. So the MLT1s, the MLT2s, the MLA, the MLA track, and the MLE. Now, these are, for those of our viewers who aren't familiar with it, it's machinery lubricant technician, machinery lubricant analyst, and machinery lubrication engineer. So these were the ICML is the International Council for Machinery Lubrication. So, and this is one of the standard governing bodies to make sure that the training that's provided it meets certain standards. But it provides you the tools so that you can understand why you're doing things in your plant and what you need to do and how you need to do it to maintain optimal lubrication practices.
Wonderful. Great stuff. And a perfect segue into industry challenges. You mentioned in our pre-podcast that you're not just a sales guy, but someone who's experienced, been in the trenches as a practitioner in the plants and factories. This real world experience seems to be a significant differentiator for Newton. So, how does your background as a practitioner directly inform the solutions and services that you provide to your clients?
That's a great question, Bob. So, in my past 18 years, I spent as a practitioner and for several different companies, whether I worked in pulp and paper, chemicals, steel, heavy manufacturing. I was on the other end of the contractor. I was the one calling the contractors, trying to talk to them and say, are you going to be able to do what I need you to do? Part of the reason we're in business is because when I was in the plants, I struggled to find someone who was very adept at providing the very services we now provide, which are needed by companies. I just couldn't find anybody to do it. So I had to learn how to do it myself. Um, and I also understand what the plants are up against, especially with time constraints and problems with management, wanting things and being able to deliver those things. Sometimes there is a bit of I don't want to say disconnect, but the way things have to be handled at the top CEO level are different than the way things are sometimes handled in the plant. And getting those, understanding the differences between those two is really important. Like, here's a great example, knowing that if I have to do this type of project, then it's going to have to be capital. And knowing all those rules and everything that have to go behind that, you can kind of help guide the customer and receive feedback from them on how best to make that happen, whether you split it up into smaller manageable parts or you want to do it all at once. Um, and then also what we help provide too is the overall picture of how the plant is supposed to run. Because from being in plants, running them as maintenance managers and maintenance engineers and things like that, I understand the difficulties of staffing and training and just the overall load of demand that today's workforce has.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot in there. And so having that in the plant perspective, why it seems like it's so critical for effectively addressing those needs. So what is having someone in the plant perspective? Why is it so vital for companies today?
Because I can understand where they're coming from and empathize with them and identify with their needs rather than so what it allows us to do is instead of saying, well, here's what I provide and here's how I can make it fit you. Instead, we say, what do you need? What are your challenges? And here's how our solutions can solve those directly. It works a lot better for everyone because no one wants to be sold to. I don't. I have never met anybody who does. But what they really want is their problem solved. And so then we take what we can provide and we tailor that to their needs, not the other way around.
No, and that's fantastic because I mean I think what are some of those big challenges you're seeing with industrial manufacturing companies facing the companies are facing, especially like those in high growth environments?
Technical staffing. I was just talking about a gentleman the other day, or talking to a gentleman the other day, one of my friends, he runs an oil analysis business. One of his customers is trying to, they're building some very large um, machines, or if you will, for the government, and they want to build three every year for the next 10 years. They can't do that because they literally don't have enough people, metrologists and welders and pipe fitters and millwrights. They just don't have enough people. It's not the issue of being able to pay them more, just throw money at them. It's the issue of the the younger generation. If you listen to some of the other podcasts that are out there, as well as Mike Rove with 30 Jobs, he's been shouting it loudly for a while now. But and I saw this happening about 10 years ago. When I was growing up, in the early 2000s, they the general consensus was go to college, just get a degree. Don't, no matter what it is, just get a degree. And now what we found is we've chased everyone towards those 4-year degrees instead, and we've somewhat neglected those trades, which are equally as important, but they just don't have those. And so that specialized knowledge and that willingness to get dirty, if you will, is is somewhat harder to find than it once was. Um, and so that's part of what we're trying to help our customers with, that very specialized technical knowledge, teaching them, training them. Then companies um, have some of the leadership has made it more difficult with. I don't know what the best solution would have been, but when they went away from pensions and they went back to 401ks, and the there is no more, there's not as much company loyalty anymore because they've taken the incentives away. I mean, times have changed though, so I can't really complain about that. It just we've traded some challenges for new challenges, and one of those challenges is technical staffing. It's really hard to find people and get them to stay in a role for a very long time. So as a contractor, we can somewhat help fill that gap because I don't, as long as we continue to get work from these facilities, we don't have any incentive to move to a different role.
Right. And it seems that, as you mentioned, the younger generation coming in, there's a lot of older, like tacit knowledge. People have all the knowledge in their head. And so
Hmm.
it's like, and I know we talked about like, the worry about retiring technical experts. I mean, so how does Newton Industrial Solutions uniquely positioned to help these companies navigate complexities, particularly that kind of gap left behind by retiring technical experts?
So, like before, I mean, I spent we pull upon our last 18 years of experience in plants, that when we still have that, we can share that with many different customers. Um, and we've seen, well, okay, this is how motors are supposed to run. This is the parameters they're supposed to run within. When they go outside that, we can raise the flag and say, hey guys, this is a problem. Or this is the temperatures that um, hydraulic systems are supposed to run in. Here's the viscosity we're supposed to have for that. A lot of that knowledge that has been gained over the years goes out the door with them. It's a definite challenge to retain knowledge. I've seen some companies be good at it, some companies be very bad at it, and some in between, but it is definitely a challenge for everybody, um, transferring the knowledge. It takes several years working in a plant to really understand the nuances of it, and um, it's something I encourage many people to go into, but I also try to be realistic with expectations. You can't come in there in 6 months and suddenly become an expert at how a plant's supposed to run and operate.
Right. Yeah. I've seen that firsthand myself in, different factories and industries that I've seen. And it's like especially like in the baking industry, there's areas where, they have line operators who just come and go. And so you got to train them and have them properly trained. But then there are people who've been there for 50, 40 years, 30, 40 years who
Right.
just, they don't even have to think. They just know. And it's like how to transfer that in knowledge and get those people to be upscaled as quickly as possible, or kind of some of those things. So, um, you know, can you maybe elaborate on some of that transfer of knowledge or lack thereof of impact, how it impacts operations, and what solutions kind of do you see that can help bridge that gap effectively?
So we help companies systemize. So we some do that through PMs. But just last week, I was in one of my customers training them on how to perform furnace inspections for thermography. So I took their camera and I gave them about a 4-hour class, and we went out in the plant and we showed them. We walked through with them. Here's the spot you stand. Here's the settings on your camera you need to make, and here's how to take the photo. And here's what you need to look for on these spots, and here's how you load it into the system and get a report out or into the computer. So that's one way that we help people. The nice part about running our own business is we're not locked down to a company as being a practitioner anymore. Um, as much as we can help that's part of the reason we went out on our own is so we can help many plants with these things.
Right.
Because our main goal is to provide excellent, stellar customer service, as if it was my own plant that I worked in. Because I am going to
Right.
be honest, I did struggle to find contractors who would treat the plant as if it were their own.
So important too, because I mean, it's that proverbial skin in the game where when you feel like this matters to you, you work harder. You make sure everything's taken care of and everything's
Mhm.
covered. And wow,
Yep,
that's great, great insights. So shifting gears a bit, let's talk a little bit about business growth. You shared
sure.
fantastic insights about having like 100% actionable value when you're able to get into the plant and diagnose issues. So, what advice do you have for other companies who are trying to grow their businesses, especially when it comes to finding and connecting with the right customers?
So you have to first of all you have to determine, okay, who is your target audience. And so for us, there's a certain type of plant that works very well that we can provide a lot of value to. If they're highly automated with robots and things like that, for example, there's not a lot of value we can provide because everything is so same and they have everything dialed in. Um, Whereas if there's lots of rotating equipment and it's highly specialized, and let's say these type of motors, they don't even make them anymore. And the only way to fix them is to have them rebuilt, and they're kind of one of a kind. Or they have two machines like this in the world, like a giant calendar that rolls tires together for a giant calendar gearbox that rolls tires together for the molding process. Um, we can help them. Um, and they also have to want to be helped. If they're in a run to failure state and they want to stay there, there's not a lot that we can do for them because the things that we provide give you 3 to 6 months ahead of time, like a warning that it's not a problem today. It's gonna be, but it's not a problem today, meaning the problem is small and the input to correct it is very small. Um, Fortunately, there is a big industry um, push towards getting away from the breakdown-based maintenance or fighting the fires, if you will. And um, but my advice is to find something that you're passionate about, something that you can provide significant value, and just start trying to provide that to customers. And what will happen is as they see the value that you can give them, they're like, hey, what else can you do? Can you do this other thing here? Can you do this other thing here? It really just starts with one. That's how all my customers have that I've gotten this last year. It started with one thing they called me in for, or I found them, and then it just grew from there. So, and that's how all of my customers have been.
Yeah, that I mean it's that concept of come in, prove the value, and
Yep,
then expand based upon what, the good because you got to kind of prove yourself first. I mean
yep,
that's pretty important. And then if you almost like prove with passion. I mean if they your passion is going to come through when you're working through things and doing it. Gets back to your point about, making the care about it's just like it's your plant because that passion then comes through on that. So that's fantastic. Great insights. Can you also share any examples or stories of how you've successfully gotten in front of some key decision makers? Perhaps like the job fair story you mentioned?
yeah, yeah. Um, One of this is, I can't pinpoint any one big area. Oh, this is how we get customers. It's
Right.
really been
Yeah.
lots of different ones, and we've had some of them through LinkedIn. The one you're asking about, I went to a local job fair over in Spartanburg, and I was just talking to the different HR folks. That's usually who shows up to those. And I said, "Hey, I know you guys make plastics, so can would you be willing to share the contact info of your maintenance manager with me?" She said, sure. And so she gave it to me, and then now they're one of our regular customers. We're in there once or twice a month. Um, But yeah, I started with those guys with oil sampling. They didn't have anybody to do that. And because the guy had retired that used to do it, he'd retired several years ago, and but they knew they needed to do it. They just didn't know how. And so now we're providing that service for them. So we go in and we take the oil samples, and then we send them off to the lab, and then we get the results back and give them the actionable interpretation. This gearbox is fine. This one's fine. This one right here, we need to change the oil. This one over here, we need to investigate if we're having alignment or gear wear issues because we have high iron content. Or this one looks like somebody dumped hydraulic oil when it needs gear oil. That kind of thing. Um,
Yeah.
so some of them
No,
have
and
been
it's
former employers, and then some of them have been other vendors that I have used in the past that now I partner with and use their products. And they said, "Hey, we have this other person over here. Can you go help them?" So,
yeah. The value of word of mouth and just networking and working through
yeah.
things is fantastic. So yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that there are some those companies who just don't realize that they need that help. They've kind of been kind of in that traditional mindset. So how do you identify and qualify those companies that are truly ready to break out of that run to failure, so to speak, mindset versus those who prefer to like maintain the status quo?
So there was a plant I went into maybe a year ago. They brought me in, but I mean they told me flat out they just don't have the bandwidth or really the interest in changing things up, and it stems from the CEO level, the C-suite level. That's from what I understood. But um, when one of the things that we do, to use a sales term, is discovery. I don't really like that term, but it is definitely a widely known term in
Right.
sales, in the sales arena.
Mhm.
I try to ask more questions. As you can see, I like to talk a lot, but I've had to
Me too.
work really hard when I go into customers, asking lots of questions to try to pinpoint, okay, because every plant needs something. You don't know what it is going into them, going into the visit them, but every plant definitely needs something. No one has all the bases covered. I've never seen it. It's not realistic. There's always deficiencies. And so as we talk to them, we ask them um, valuable questions to try to figure out, okay, where are your needs? And then in the back of my mind, can I how can I fit our solutions to meet those needs for them? And sometimes we can't. And then that's when we say, um, maybe it's not a good fit because you guys are not, you don't have the bandwidth or the funds or whatever to make the leap from breakdown maintenance into, hey, let's turn our technicians instead of with a screwdriver and a hammer into a stethoscope with a little probe. So we're listening to things and trying to catch problems and defects before they become large and cause machines to fail.
Yeah. Wow, that's like, yeah, that's really good insights. You know, we kind of talked about overcoming challenges in manufacturing companies that are facing and navigating complexity. But for like the business leaders out there and innovators who are listening right now, what's the one lesson from your journey about leveraging technology to create exponential growth and future-proof your business? What's that one thing that you feel has been most crucial or multiple for success today?
Well, and I have thought about this quite a bit because of AI and the development of that. I mean, you can tell AI, give me all the information on X, and it will give you a lot of information. Well, what still isn't there is how do you actually implement it? So it can tell you, all right, so here's how you replace an alternator, but I mean, it, it still struggles to say, okay, you need to apply this much force, use this type of tool in this way. Um, I don't see AI at all taking over. Okay, help me figure out what's wrong with my 2,000 horsepower steel mill motor bearing. And it's a DC motor that they don't make anymore that was made by ASEA back in the 80s. Like, I don't see it unless those libraries, again, it goes to capturing the knowledge because AI is based on what? Libraries and learning models with this input. But if you don't give anything relatively close to those inputs. And again, a lot of the machinery that we have out in industry is old and sometimes is one of a kind. And so there's not a lot to go off. And yes, AI has said that, well, I mean, it's said that AI can bridge those gaps, but still, I think we're a ways off from being able to understand exactly what's wrong just by feeding it into AI. And then not only that, fixing it.
Yeah. Well, and I've always been a strong proponent of, AI is more of a tool than it, is for like taking and doing something completely because, it can give you like about 80% of what you need, but it's
Right.
that 20% of that personal touch or that personal understanding or logic of the situation that is going to make that difference. And that's why it's funny because, there are some people like content marketing expert who go, oh my gosh, it's like, AI is going to take over our jobs and everything. But the really, really smart ones, the really good content marketers are actually embracing it and finding ways how they can utilize it because
Yeah.
it simplifies that mundane, repetitive kind of thing. But when you get into specifics of kind of like what you're describing is a lot of these companies are using very old or machinery that's been around and is working. So you need to have the ideas that will help you, but it's that personal touch you're saying is that you're, offering, which is fantastic. So I think that's a perfect note to end on, Tyler. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your expertise on optimizing at manufacturing, bridging the knowledge gap, and ideas and improvements for business owners. Where can listeners find you and learn more about your industrial solutions?
Well, we have a large presence on LinkedIn. We also have a website called newtoninds.com. It's just an abbreviation off of our company name. But
Mhm.
and then uh, yeah, that's where they can find us. And then I also have a digital business card that I share with people often. But we're our company and my own personal LinkedIn webpage
Mhm.
are based on LinkedIn. So yeah, if you have a need in your plant, you're trying to figure out, well, how can we save money? How can we get ahead of failures and not have them cause us headache on a Saturday night? Then give me a call. Be happy to help you out.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, thanks again. For and for and if you ever feel like your sales pipeline could work harder while you sleep, or if you're looking to bridge the same level of AI driven efficiency in your sales and marketing, Build Relevance helps transform manufacturing companies using AI growth engines to grow and scale. So reach out for a custom growth plan, check out the website, or you can reach me at bob@relevance.com. Thanks again, and don't forget to like and subscribe for ongoing updates. Tyler, once again, thank you so much. This has been fantastic. Really appreciate all your insights and everything. And keep us posted. Look forward to keeping in touch and talking more about, kind of a lot of this stuff because everything keeps shifting and changing. And so that's the great thing about, all of this stuff going on. So,
It is. Thanks so much, Bob. It was a pleasure to be with you today.
all right. Thanks so much. All right. Take care. Bye.
Okay.